Tanjiro is welcomed by the cheerful love Hashira. As they move to the kitchen, Mitsuri explains that she will prepare black tea and pancakes for him, insisting that he must add butter and top them with honey. Curious about the ingredients, Tanjiro barely recognizes the black tea and is perplexed by the unfamiliarity of butter and pancakes. Seated at the table, Tanjiro is puzzled by the stack of pancakes, not knowing how to eat them. Mitsu in turns cuts through the stack and feeds Tanjiro a piece, which he exclaims in excitement at the taste, expressing that it is to die for. Mitsuri concurs and explains that once he is done eating, he must attempt to don a pink uniform. Compliantly, Tanjiro changes into the pink uniform to join other trainees, clearly embarrassed by their attire. Tanjiro, however, is exhilarated to begin. While some struggle to maintain their balance, Tanjiro seamlessly follows Mitsuri's lead in each exercise. As the trainees continue, Mitsuri stresses the importance of a flexible body in achieving more precise movements, which enhances combat capabilities. Throughout the training process, Tanjiro's understanding of flexibility and its impact on combat proves to deepen, reinforcing the significance of adaptable bodies in demon slaying. Tanjiro arrives at Obanai's residence, where the serpent Hashira had been waiting for him. However, his excitement about training is cut short by a threat to his life. Obanai informs him that Mitsuri has spoken about her experience training him. Obanai presents Tanjiro with a training regime designed specifically for him, but is shocked to see numerous trainees bound to poles in the Hashira's dojo. His mission is to wield a sword while evading the obstacles strewn around the room to improve his swordsmanship. But Tanjiro wonders if it is a place for execution. When asked about the crimes committed by these individuals, Obanai reveals that they are guilty of committing the crimes of weakness, failure to learn, wasting his time, and annoying him. Tanjiro, bewildered, ponders how he will carry out such a task as he holds a bokuto and watches a demonstration. Obanai cuts through the room, striking spring-loaded chimes with incredible speed and accuracy. Tanjiro watches in awe but is then instructed to begin his turn. Despite the challenge of training with merely a bokuto, Tanjiro recognized the potential for injuries upon mistakenly hitting someone. His task was hindered by the need to navigate his way around the trainee hostages while avoiding strikes from Obanai, who weaved through the poles with serpentine-like precision. When Tanjiro revealed to the hostages his motivation for training, they acknowledged and joined him in the practice. Later, as they prepared to enter the onsen, they grimaced at the prospect of the hot water aggravating their injuries. Despite the pain, they jumped into the water, only to let out screams of agony as the cuts stung. Over the following days, Tanjiro's training with Obanai yielded minimal progress as he continued to be struck during their sparring sessions, resulting in another painful onsen experience each night. On the fourth day, Tanjiro ran to the left as Obanai reprimanded him for not attacking. In his attempt to swing, he nearly hit a trainee's head, realizing the need to focus solely on Obanai and the danger of a real-life obstacle. To accomplish this, he envisioned a dense forest and fought as if he and Obanai were amidst trees. With this newfound focus and awareness, Tanjiro's attacks became more precise, culminating in a successful nick against Obanai's Hayori, signaling the completion of his training stage. The scene shifts to Tanjiro carrying the unconscious Zenitsu, with Sanemi giving him orders to take him back to the dojo. Tanjiro responds with excitement about finally starting his training, but Sanemi quickly shuts him down, warning him not to get too cocky, as he has not yet been accepted. The scene then moves to Tanjiro's training with Sanemi, who is shown to be both brutal and unrelenting in his methods. Tanjiro struggles to keep up with the training, which involves sparring against Sanemi, who refuses to give any breaks. The task is made even more difficult due to Sonomi's brutal fighting style. Tanjiro quickly realizes that the training is extremely intense and relentless, and he feels even more sympathy towards Zenitsu, who had been so desperate to escape. Even Obanai, who is known for being strict, gave him more breaks than Sanemi. The Wind Hashira continues to be rough with Tanjiro, attacking him anytime he loses focus, and even backhanding the Demon Slayer across the face. The result is that Tanjiro's body becomes bruised and swollen. Feeling demoralized, Tanjiro enters the Hashira's house where he hears Genya pleading with Sanemi, who brushes him off, denying their relationship and even threatening to kill him if he dares continue. Tanjiro, listening to the exchange, is struck by the harshness in Sanemi's tone, noting that it is unlike the warm and playful banter he has with his own siblings, remembering when he wrestled with Shigeru and tickled him until he relented. Sanemi tells Genya not to act like they are close, and belittles him by saying that he lacks skill, suggesting that he should resign from the Demon Slayer Corps since he doesn't use breathing techniques. As Sanemi turns to leave, Genya urgently tries to apologize, but Sanemi ignores his words and walks away. Feeling that Genya's chances are slipping away, Genya makes a sudden confession, claiming that he has eaten demons to become stronger and reach his current position. Shocked, Sanemi stops in his tracks and demands that Genya repeat himself. Tanjiro and Genya are both startled as Sanemi stomps his foot in anger, creating a tense atmosphere. Sanemi vanishes, and Genya looks around in confusion, not understanding how he could have disappeared so quickly. Tanjiro, sensing that something is wrong, races forward in a brave attempt to reach them. However, Sanemi appears behind Genya and attempts to tear out his eyes. Tanjiro quickly reacts and grabs Genya, pushing him away, but in the process, Sanemi inadvertently slices his cheek with his fingers. The two fall through the wall into the yard, causing a loud noise that catches Zenitsu's attention, who is training alongside the other trainees. The other trainees are curious about what is happening, and they wonder if it's the end of the training session. They are taken aback by the sudden loud noise as Tanjiro and Genya land in the yard after crashing through the wall. The scene shifts to Zenitsu and the other trainees, who pretend to faint upon seeing the enraged Sanemi, thinking he has returned. They observe Tanjiro standing outside, who urgently looks inside the house imploring Sanemi to stop. However, an ominous and loud sound fills the air as the wind hashira steps out. Tanjiro confronts Sanemi, demanding to know if he intended to kill Genya. Sanemi replies he was not, but instead wanted to cripple him. Tanjiro is shocked and angry at Sanemi's words, demanding to know why he would attempt to injure Genya. Sanemi refuses to back down, and Tanjiro stands firm in defending Genya. He insists that Sanemi has no right to decide what is best for Genya, especially after disowning him so soon. Tanjiro claims that Genya chose to fight beside them against upper-ranked demons, and that they wouldn't have survived without him. He vows not to let Sanemi harm Genya and steps forward, taking a defensive stance. Sanemi is surprised by Tanjiro's determination and switches his target from Genya to the Demon Slayer. He lunges at him with incredible speed, and the trainees watch, bracing for impact. Tanjiro, however, moves quickly, stopping Sanemi's fist just before it connects with his chest. He then kicks the hashira in the head, stunning him. The trainees and Genya watch in shock as the hashira, known for his fierce might, has been dealt a blow by Tanjiro. Noticing Genya and Zenitsu in the vicinity, Tanjiro urgently instructs Zenitsu to take Genya away from the scene. Genya is reluctant to leave, but Tanjiro remains adamant to keep him safe. Sanemi is furious and claims that Tanjiro's actions must be a prelude to death, and he would gladly eliminate him. Genya steps forward, trying to calm his brother down. However, his efforts are cut short as Zenitsu intervenes, pulling Genya away from the scene. Feeling frustrated, Genya punches Zenitsu in the face, expressing his annoyance at being dragged away. Zenitsu responds that they should separate two people fighting and that he pities Genya, considering the fact that he has a total lunatic as an elder brother. Meanwhile, Sanemi and Tanjiro continue their fierce scuffle as the trainees struggle to restrain Sanemi from causing further harm to Tanjiro. Despite the best efforts to intervene, the two continue to brawl until sunsets. The next day, Tanjiro finds himself reprimanded by the Demon Slayer Corps for his actions and is informed that his training with Sanemi has been suspended, and he is forbidden from approaching the Hashira. Tanjiro is more disappointed in his failure to reconcile the Shinazugawa siblings. Tanjiro and Zenitsu walk through a mountain forest. He expresses his frustration over Sanemi's training being suspended. He believes that his training is not bearing any fruit, but Zenitsu reassures him that he witnessed Tanjiro holding his own against the Hashira, claiming it was impressive. When they reach a waterfall, they are startled by the sight of the other trainees, including Inosuke, chanting a religious mantra as they struggle to stand under the forceful torrent. They are even more surprised when a voice sounds from behind them, belonging to the stone Hashira, Gyome Himejima. The two are dumbfounded when they see him carrying heavy logs and rocks while standing on blazing ground. Himejima welcomes Tanjiro and Zenitsu to his training grounds upon the mountain, explaining the practice of extinguishing their heart and mind to quench the fire of the soul.